Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Amazon Ads Raw Daily, episode number 14. And not that many people know about this podcast already because I have chosen to secretly launch it and not tell anybody about it because I wanted to see first if I can stick with the habit of recording daily and how I need to organize my life in order to make this possible. And if I would have daily topics to talk about every time, which is, uh, yeah, the challenge. I wasn't sure if I would beat it. So it's currently only an elite group of people, you guys, who are listening to the podcast, and I'm choosing, or I will make it public after episode 20, which means 20 episodes. This is 4 weeks. And then I should have a very good understanding if I'll continue doing this podcast or not. But let's talk about some actual stuff and not podcast related. Today, we're going to talk about a little analysis I did last week on search catalog data versus search query performance data. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the search catalog is a report which you can find in Seller Central Brand Analytics again. And it shows you for your brand or your specific ASINs and a selected time frame, the total amount of impressions, clicks, purchases, add to carts, very similar to the search query performance report, but not broken down into the individual search terms. So you could say the search catalog performance is a rather aggregated view of the search query performance report and gives you kind of a summary for your chosen time frame on your ASIN level. How much impressions did I got? How much clicks, add to carts, and so on and so forth. So what I did last week is I basically downloaded this search catalog data for one of my brands, for one of our brands, which we're working on, for the month of April to get the full month of data. And then I downloaded it for the top 6 ASINs of that report. So the ASINs which had the highest amount of impressions in April, the search query performance report as well on the same month. And then I did compare the search catalog metrics with the search query performance metrics because I wanted to see, is there actually yeah, are these numbers are matching up. And what I found is that they do not match at all. And there's some weird, at least for me, it was weird in the beginning, some weird thing happening. So, first of all, I compared impressions, search query performance impressions, and I used the ASIN count level. So, how much total impressions did I had on the ASIN in that month in search query performance report, and how much impressions would search catalog show me? And for every ASIN, I got a different number on both reports. And the share, so how many impressions I had on the search query performance report versus the search catalog performance, was also different. So it's not that on search query performance report, I would always see like 30% of the impressions, but the range was from 26% to 50%. So on some ASINs, I had 50% less impressions in the search query performance report than I would see in search catalog performance report. On some, it was even more because I just saw 26% in search query performance report. This means I had roughly 75% less impressions reported on the search query performance report than the search catalog impressions. That was the first finding. So for these 6 ASINs, the average was like only 35% of impressions was measured in search query performance report against search catalog performance. Then I did the same thing for clicks and for add to carts and for purchases. And I don't want to bore you with the details here, but the numbers again don't match up. We always see much lower numbers in search query performance report across all the metrics. But the interesting fact is the numbers are getting closer the more we go closer to purchases. So I said in the beginning, impressions. So we had 35% of impressions reported on search query performance report versus search catalog. On clicks, it was already 70%. So I had 70% of clicks reported in search query performance report versus search catalog performance. So the gap narrowed down when we got to clicks. On add to carts, it was actually 80% already. So I had I had 80% of add to carts compared to the search catalog in search query performance, and purchases almost the same thing like add to carts. So there was not a huge difference. What does it mean, first of all? So it means the search catalog will give you a much more holistic view in terms of how much impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases the ASIN actually got in a certain month. And it just shows that search query performance report is really just some extraction of the whole search performance. And that's because obviously, even if you download, if you download search query performance data for an ASIN on a monthly level or weekly level or whatever, you're just getting the top 100 most relevant terms. And it's not including sponsored brands, sponsored display, sponsored brand videos, widgets. It's not including external traffic, and so on and so forth. So lots of data is not included. We discussed that already in an episode in some weeks ago. And it seems that the data is getting better the more towards you go on purchases. Why? Because obviously you have much less purchases on an ASIN than you have impressions. So there's much more, let's say, search terms you would see an ASIN delivers against. So if I'm just able to download the top 100 search terms on the search query performance report, and search catalog shows me, let's call it all impressions, then obviously the gap is wider as I would see on the purchases, because usually an ASIN might not have 100 search terms where it's also had purchases on, depending on the time frame. So there's this natural gap closer towards purchases. But what does it also mean is, if you would now take a conversion rate, you would have different conversion rates. So just imagine, or not just imagine, but I did the same math here, and I calculated clicks to purchase ratio. So I looked at each of these ASINs, and I looked how many clicks did I had in search query performance report, how many purchases did I had, and that's kind of my conversion rate, right? And the conversion rate I saw on the search query performance report was always higher than I would see in the search catalog report. So on average, the search query performance report conversion rate was 20%, 30%, in some case even 150% higher than what search catalog would show us. So the essence of today's episode is, Amazon data is great, and it's great that Amazon is providing us with lots of data sources, but don't take these data as the full 100% truth, because as you can see, even on Amazon provided data, I would see a different result on the conversion rate. And if I would base any action based on this data, eventually I do something not ideal for my ASIN and my brand. So with that, we'll end the episode today. I hope you learned something. Have a wonderful Thursday, and hear you tomorrow. Bye bye.